A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I want A+ English because it's so much fun. English education for you and everyone, so come along. Learn some grammar, learn a phrase, learn something new every day. Learn the A+ way. Hey, it's time to start the show. Are you ready? Good, 'cause here we go. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I want A+ English.
Hi everyone, and welcome to A+ English. I'm Pat.
我是 Clean.
Today we're going to be looking at a kind of art. It's from Japan. We'll get there in just a moment. But let's warm up by asking, what kind of old art do you like best and why?
Every time I think of old art, I think of ancient Egyptian art.
Okay.
The paintings. I think they look really mysterious and cool.
Yeah, I like animals on cave walls.
Oh.
No, I'm joking. That is very old art, but I would say that's not my favorite. I actually kind of like a lot of the pictures of stories from even just like the Bible or history stuff.
Okay.
A lot of it's going to be like Renaissance art, stuff done around the 15th, 16th centuries kind of art. But I like it to be of like stories and events rather than people, just portraits.
Oh.
Yeah, I like to kind of see a story in the picture.
Because you're a writer.
On. Yeah, it inspires me a little bit more. Okay, that's us. What about you guys? What kind of old art do you appreciate? Any reason for it? Well, you think about that, and we're going to get ready to read this article about an old kind of Japanese art. Let's take a look.
The Floating World of Ukiyo-e. Warm-up question. What kind of old art do you like best? Why?
What comes to mind when you think of Japanese art? You might picture the colored hair and big eyes in anime. But if you look back 300 years, you'll find very different pictures. They show sea waves and people in kimono. They're part of ukiyo-e art, and they show life in the Edo period. The word ukiyo-e means pictures of the floating world. It's a kind of wood block printing that became popular in the 1700s. Japan was in a time of peace. Its people became rich, and culture grew. Artists wanted to show the pleasures of nature and the city. They made art about old stories, love, famous people, and more.
So our article is going to start with a question. It asks, what comes to mind when you think of Japanese art? Well, to understand this, we need to understand the phrase come to mind.
好，这是我们今天第一个Magic Box 的片语，叫 come to mind， 代表想到的意思。我们来看一下老师怎么讲解。Magic Box。Hello， 大家好，我是 Casey。今天我们来认识一下 mind 这个名词哦。那 mind 它有头脑啊，或是大脑这样的意思。我们来造个例句，看看它要怎么使用。Joy's mind is full of the Korean drama she watched last night, so she can't focus on the class. Joy 的脑中充满了昨天她看的那部韩剧，所以她就没有办法专心在课堂上了。Mind 除了独自使用之外呢，也非常常被用在一些各式各样的片语当中哦。今天呢，我们就来看看几个。首先呢，是课文里面有提到的 come to mind。What comes to mind when you think of Japanese art? 课文一开始就问了这个问题哦。当你在想到这个日本艺术的时候呢，是什么会出现在你的脑中？这个 come to mind 这个片语呢，就有想到什么东西这样的意思哦。那这个片语它的主词就会是你想到的那样东西哦。我们再来造一个例句。An idea came to Joe's mind when he was taking a shower. 当 Joe 在洗澡的时候想到了一个点子。除了 come to mind 这个片语之外呢，像是 keep something in mind 或者是 bear something in mind 表示将某件事情记住或是放在心上，也是很常使用的片语哦。 比如说 Mom told me not to talk to strangers and I always keep that in mind. 妈妈叫我不要跟陌生人讲话，然后我就一直把这件事情记在心上了。最后呢，我们再来看另外一个片语是 make up somebody's mind， 表示某个人下定决心或是打定主意的意思。像是 Joe made up his mind to quit his job， 就下定决心了要把这份工作辞掉。好啦，那以上各种 mind 搭配的片语，大家都有学起来了吗？
所以提到日本艺术，你会想到什么呢？
Yeah, what do you think of it means? When you think of this word, what sort of picture appears in your head? That kind of thing. For example, the article says you might picture the colored hair and big eyes in anime.
就是动画那种动漫，你就想到动漫。
Yeah, big hair.
Right， 所以这个 might 跟 may 它代表可能性，那它都代表可能的意思。不过 might 它比 may 的可能性还低哦。所以我们造几个句子，比如说 I was hoping she might show a little compassion。我还在想说她会不会有一点同情心呢？这个 might 就是有一点或者可能。那 may 它的可能程度高一点，比如说 We may go on a picnic this weekend。那这两个字啊 may 跟 might 都可以表示请求许可，可是 might 比较少，我们通常还是会使用 may， 比如说 May I be excused from the table？ 我可以离席一下吗？
Yeah, this is all about suggesting possibility. So you might say, I'm not sure what I'll do this weekend. I might go to a park or I might just stay at home. So something you might picture would be these people from anime. But we need to check out the word picture because we're using it in a different way.
好，我们看一下吧。Picture 就是想象跟设想的意思，那它是动词，在我们的文章中，当名词就是图片或相片嘛，比如说照相就是 take a picture of someone or something， 比如说 Can you take another picture of me？ 你可以再帮我拍另外一张照片吗？那另外一个片语呢，叫做 keep someone in the picture， 去指的就是让谁去了解情况，比如说 Teachers meet regularly with parents to keep them in the picture about their child's progress in school。 教师呢，他们都会定期跟家长会面，让他们了解一下小孩子在学校的进步跟状况。那我们看另外一个句子，我们把它当成动词，代表想象的意思。In my head, I picture the sofa over here and the table over there. They'll look great in this room. 在我的脑袋里呢，我想象沙发会放在这边，桌子会放在那边，感觉放在这个房间里面看起来会蛮好看的。
Similarly, I could say, when I think of England, I picture green fields and grey skies. It's going to be raining.
Yeah. 所以呢，想到日本的艺术，我们可能会想到动漫啊。那这边刚有说彩色的头发 ，colored 指的是彩色的意思。
Yeah, a lot of the characters have all kinds of crazy colored hair in these pictures and art. Colored can be used for anything that's just not black and white. You might say there are some colored pens in this pencil box. So there'll be red, blue, maybe green, purple, who knows? But here we're talking about a kind of art and it's anime.
Anime 就是日本动画片。
Yeah, the kind of Japanese style of cartoons. That's basically it. You might say Naruto and One Piece are popular anime. We don't tend to use the S with it because it's a Japanese word and they don't usually put an S to make it plural. So we just say anime. So the article carries on. So you might think, okay, Japanese art, you might think of anime, but the article says, but if you look back 300 years, you'll find very different pictures.
这边的 pictures 指的是不同的画，所以如果你回顾到300年前呢，你就会看到都长得不一样的画哦。
So what would we see in pictures like that? The article says they show sea waves and people in kimono.Kimono
就是我们常看到日本人穿的和服，所以这些照片呢，你可以看到海浪啊，还有穿着和服的人。
Again, we don't use the S. I've heard some people say kimonos, but we're trying to stick with this idea of we don't put a plural on the word because that's not what would be done in Japan. You'd say there are different kimono for weddings, daily use, festivals, and more.Now, the article carries on. They are, meaning these pictures are, they are part of ukiyo-e art. I think that's how you say it. We could be a bit wrong, but never mind. And they show life in the Edo period.
Edo period 指的就是江户时代，大概是在1603年到1867年左右。那江户指的呢，就是现在的东京，过去的江户时代呢，又称为是德川时代。所以文章的意思就是呢，他们是浮世绘艺术的一部分哦，他们展示了江户时代的生活。
Right, so let's use that strange word again and try and explain it. The article goes on, the word ukiyo-e, I think again that's how you say it, means pictures of the floating world.
ukiyo-e 这个字的意思就是浮世绘，那 floating 这边是指浮动的或流动的意思，因为 float 本身就有浮起来的感觉的意思。
Right, we often use float as a verb. Boats float on water. Here we're using it as an adjective to say the noun, the thing we're talking about, is floating. It could be floating in the air, like floating bubbles, or it could be floating on water. So we could say during the swimming race, people can take breaks on floating platforms in the water. They're platforms and they float, so they're floating platforms. So this kind of art, what else can we learn about it? The article says it's a kind of woodblock printing that became popular in the 1700s.
所以这是一种雕版印刷，在1700年代开始流行。这边雕版印刷woodblock printing 就是这个意思。
Yeah, this is a kind of art. You get a piece of wood or something else. You carve the picture into the wood, and then you use this wood and print it to make many copies on ink and paper. It's just a particular style of art. Not so common these days, but because we've got machines to print stuff, but before it was a very popular way of making many copies. So why have we got this kind of art? Why is it showing what it's showing? Well, the article is going to give us some details. It says Japan was in a time of peace.
所以日本呢是处于和平时期。那 time 它的字，它在这边指的就是时期的意思。不过它也可以当几次或几回。比如说 Janet bought a pair of shoes when she went shopping last time. 那这个 last time 指的就是上一次的意思。那 time 平常我们使用上可以当时间的意思。
Like you could say, in times of war, life is hard for many people. Luckily for Japan, there wasn't a war then, there was peace.
我们看一下 peace 这个字。Peace 就是和平的意思哦，那如果是当形容词就是 peaceful， 所以大家在平常讲中文的时候都会说哦很 peace， 它其实是错的，你要说 peaceful 才对哦，这才是形容词。比如说 It's very peaceful out here in the woods， 这里的树林非常的宁静安静。那我们看一个句子 Many people want everyone to stop fighting and live in peace， 这个 peace 是名词哦，许多人希望所有人停止战争，然后和平的共处。
So we could say, hopefully, there will be peace between Russia and Ukraine soon. So Japan was at peace. Nobody was fighting. There were no wars, which meant that people could actually get on with the business of living. And people get more comfortable and people have time for other things in life. We see in the article, its people became rich and culture grew.
所以那时候他们的人民就变得更富有，然后文化就可以得到发展。
The article goes on and says artists wanted to show the pleasures of nature and the city.
那我们来看一下 artist 这个单字吧。Artist 是艺术家的意思哦，然后它的名词是 art， 指的是艺术。比如说 The town is a popular destination for art lovers。那或者是它的形容词就是 artistic， 指的就是艺术的。比如说 I come from a very artistic family。那看另外一个句子 This museum has many pictures by famous artists from around the world。这座博物馆呢有很多来自世界各地知名艺术家的画作。
We could say the artist painted many pictures of famous people. And these artists, they wanted to show the countryside, they wanted to show the city, but they also wanted to show people having fun. They wanted to show the pleasures of these places.
So pleasure 就是愉快或欢乐。那我们来继续看一下有没有其他的用法哦。Pleasure 就是愉快或欢乐的意思，所以有一个句子我们常会说 There's no pleasure without pain， 就是你没有付出过是不会有快乐的意思。 或不会有得到回报的意思。所以譬如说有时候我们会说谢谢，那有些人的回复就会 my pleasure， 就是我的荣幸那种感觉， or it's my pleasure to do something， 做什么是我的荣幸。那我们看一个例句， Annie enjoyed simple pleasures like drinking hot coffee on cold mornings。 Annie 呢很享受很简单的快乐，像是在寒冷的早晨喝一杯热咖啡，她就觉得很开心了。
Or we could say, at Christmas time, we enjoy the pleasures of good food and the company of our families.
所以艺术家呢，他会想要去展示自然啊，还有城市的乐趣。
So these artists, they got to work on these different wood blocks, and we see they made art about old stories, love, famous people, and more.
所以这一些人，他们创造关于古老的故事啊、爱情跟名人等等的艺术。
Yeah, lots of cool stuff. And we'll learn more about this kind of art tomorrow. We'll discuss a few famous paintings or printings from that time. But right now, we're going to go to today's review time activity.
Review time.
Okay, we're going to have a challenge here. Okay, we'll do minute to win it. We may not go for the full minute. Let's see how we get on. Maybe we can give 30 seconds.
Yeah,
that
okay.
might be a little easier.
Yeah.
So one of our word power words today was artist, right? So what we're going to do, I'll set my watch up so we can do a timer, okay? And in 30 seconds, I want you to see how many famous artists you can name.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you ready? And I'll see if I can get as many.
Okay.
All right, go ahead. Go.
Da Vinci?
Yep.
Vincent van Gogh?
Right.
Michelangelo?
Michelangelo, yeah.
Michelangelo?
3.
Can it be something musical?
I'm looking for the painting.
Edward Hopper?
Hopper, yes,
is
yeah.
that one?
Yep.
Who else? Who else do we have? I can't think of anything. 那还有谁啊？还有谁？我现在想不出来了。
Okay, well,
空白，脑袋空白，还有谁？
that's 30 seconds. Just the 4, but never mind. Let's see how we can do, okay?
Hey, that's difficult.
That is difficult. Yeah, you kind of have to... and especially it's hard because suddenly, oh my goodness, I'm on the spot.
Yeah.
If you're just calmly thinking, you could probably come up with a bunch more.
True, right? But when you're counting down, like,
Yeah,
out of time.
Time pressure. Okay,
Who
let's see
else?
how many. Well, should we try?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, my 30. So let's see. We got Rubens. We've got Picasso.
Picasso, yeah.
We got Dali. Okay, we've got Turner, British artist. The Turner Prize and stuff like that. We've got Raphael and Donatello and Titian. So the Renaissance painters.
Oh, okay. 文艺复兴时期的。
Yeah, that's right. Let's try and think of some others from that sort of...
know a lot of
Van Dyck.
Time's up.
Okay, Van
yeah.
Dyck painted pictures of lots of kings. They all had funny beards. So
You named more than 10.
I think I got about 8. I think, but
Okay.
it is difficult to come up with those names. I mean, if we did music, I'm sure you would absolutely kill me at doing music artists. So, you know, anytime you've got a special area, see if you can challenge yourself and how many can you name off the top of your head very quickly. But that's just a bit of fun for us, and we're going to go back to our article about this kind of the floating world of ukiyo-e tomorrow and learn more about the Japanese art. So join us then. Bye for now.
Bye.
The floating world of ukiyo-e. Warm-up question. What kind of old art do you like best? Why?
What comes to mind when you think of Japanese art? You might picture the colored hair and big eyes in anime. But if you look back 300 years, you'll find very different pictures. They show sea waves and people in kimono. They're part of ukiyo-e art, and they show life in the Edo period. The word ukiyo-e means pictures of the floating world. It's a kind of wood block printing that became popular in the 1700s. Japan was in a time of peace. Its people became rich and culture grew. Artists wanted to show the pleasures of nature and the city. They made art about old stories, love, famous people, and more. Power.
Picture. Picture. In my head, I picture the sofa over here and the table over there. They'll look great in this room. In my head, I picture the sofa over here and the table over there. They'll look great in this room. Peace. Peace. Many people want everyone to stop fighting and live in peace. Many people want everyone to stop fighting and live in peace. Artist. Artist. This museum has many pictures by famous artists from around the world. This museum has many pictures by famous artists from around the world. Pleasure. Pleasure. Annie enjoys simple pleasures, like drinking hot coffee on cold mornings. Annie enjoys simple pleasures, like drinking hot coffee on cold mornings.
认识字汇
Colored. Colored. Anime. Anime. Kimono. Kimono. Floating. Floating. Woodblock printing. Woodblock printing.